To keep your twists popping and healthy, you want to moisturize them. I'm going in first with my water bottle and lightly misting my twist. And then I'm going to go in with my leave-in conditioners. I'm using Infusion 23 and Cream of Nature's Argan Oil for this process. You want to use a conditioner that is lightweight. Do not use a creamy conditioner because it will give you product buildup. Again, do not oversaturate your hair because you do not want your twist wet. The last thing I want to do is lock in that moisture, and I'm using Tropical Roots Growth Oil for this process here. Now I'm going to pull out 2 rows. You can do 1 row, but for this particular time, I'm going to do 2 rows. In the remainder of my hair, I'm going to pull it up into 2 ponytails closer towards the root of my hair, and you'll see why I'm pulling it towards the root and not down at the bottom. Right now we're going to take a cotton pad and we're going to clean our edges. You want to make sure your cotton pad is nice and wet. And during this process, it's very important that you do not pull or add extra friction to your edges. You want to use a light hand for this process, more of a squeeze. You're not rubbing or scrubbing your hair. You're just squeezing the cotton pad right along the knot, trying to remove any product that may build up along your braids. Remember, light hands. Because I have colored hair, I'm going to redo this one braid, and it makes a world of a difference. I'm not redoing it completely. I'm just taking it down where it's frizzy, and I'm following the exact twisting pattern. And I do not have to recurl or redip my ends or anything. I'm just going to twist it right back into place. Let the magic begin. Okay, so I'm going to work from back to front, starting at the second row first, and then moving to the front row. So the first thing I want to do is take my Murray's, and I'm just going to smush it right along where my new growth is. I'm only putting it on my new growth area. And basically what I want to do is redefine my part by pulling those straight hairs in, and I'm doing a light twist or maybe a coil. So I'm just coiling my hair around, and for the second row I'm just taking it and I'm adding it to the 2 ponytails in the back. Okay, for the front row I will not add those to the ponytails because that is just too much tension, so I'm using clamps for the front row. Again, I do not add my edges when I install because they are so fine and I'm really trying to grow them back. So for me, this process works to help preserve my edges, because if I add them in, they'll start to fall out. Okay, so here what I like to do is just go through and make sure my part is as straight as possible. Okay, and for the front row, I like to, the part where my edges are not combined, I just kind of pull that braid towards my edges, and that helps alleviate as much tension as possible. I do not twist too tightly. It may look like it's pulling, but it is not pulling at all. If it is pulling, you want to loosen your grip, okay? And you're twisting at the root of your hair. Try not to twist down the strand of the braid, because that's going to put more tension on your edges. You want to try to keep your fingers close to the root of your head, kind of like when you're doing dreadlocks. And for my particular edges, I have to go in with a second type of edge control, and I'm using Gorilla Snot, and I finished it off with the Hicks at the very, very end. My edges are extremely fine and extremely curly. If you add your edges to your braids, you will not have as much edge hair as I do, but this process will still work. Okay, I'm going to show you guys again. I start off with the back row, and I add the product only to the roots of my hair, and I start to twist. It really doesn't matter which direction you twist. I just like to twist in the same direction for all of them. That way, when I'm taking it down or I'm re-cleaning my edges, I know which way to unravel my hair, because they're all going in the same direction. Making sure that your parts are nice and defined will give you a cleaner look at the end. And it really does make my braids look nice and fresh. Okay, so once you are done twisting your hair, you want to make sure that you leave your clamps in and your hair pulled into those two ponytails. And before you take your ponytails out and your clamps out, you want to make sure your hair is completely dried and set. So I would recommend that you do this the night before, okay, because if you do not allow your hair to set, your hair will begin to unravel. So it's very important that you let your hair completely dry. And thank you guys for watching. If you have not, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel.